bioinorganic chemistry. This will be found, the information about bioinorganic chemistry found in many references, almost all inorganic books, and some of the references include Inorganic Chemistry by Huhi, The Inorganic Chemistry of Biological Process by Hughes, Cotton and Wilson by Inorganic Chemistry, Heavy Metals in the Soil by Inorganic Chemistry by Roberts, Advanced Inorganic Chemistry by Tully, and so many other inorganic chemistry. Bioinorganic chemistry is concerned with the function of metallic and non-metallic elements in biological systems. The scope is wide, stretching from physical, chemical, and clinical medicine. There is interest in this branch of chemistry, increased interest in this branch of chemistry, and the major factors that have led to increased interest include improved analytical methods, successful application of spectroscopy and diffraction techniques, less time-consuming preparative techniques. Nowadays, preparing an experiment takes short time and needs even smaller quantities, like milliliters. A drop can be used to analyze whatever you want in a given sample. Improve the synthesis of simple inorganic complexes. Also increase the concern about environmental hazards. Nowadays, there is the mushrooming industries, or many industries are coming up and they are releasing their effluents into the environment. So scientists and chemists have come together to analyze the hazardous effluents that have been released into the environment to find their fate in the environment and aquatic environment, or aquatic organisms. Another one is use of metals or complexes as treatment agents or as therapeutic agents. For example, when somebody is anemic, is fed with the iron salt, which helps in the formation of hemoglobin to help in the cure of the disease of anemia. There is also increased interest of trace element in plants, animals, and human nutrition. These essential elements are useful for the successful growth and reproduction of an organism. They involve about 40 elements, of which 25 are essential for the healthy human life. And these include, among the metals, we have sodium, potassium, magnesium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, copper, zinc, molybdenum, and tin. Then among the non-metals, we have hydrogen, carbon, silicon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine, boron, and iodine. These elements have been classified into 3 categories. We have those which are required in relatively larger quantities, known as macronutrients, and these include sodium, magnesium, sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, silicon, and iron. And those which are required in a small amount, but fundamental for the cell metabolism, often known as cofactor, and these are referred to as micronutrients. These include chromium, vanadium, molybdenum, cobalt, copper, zinc, molybdenum, boron, iron, and iodine. The last category are those which are incorporated in organic materials or molecules. These include hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. A point to note among these nutrients, the deficiency of any of the nutrients mentioned can lead to disease and sometimes death. Let us look at some essential mineral elements and their use in living organisms. The first one is nitrogen. Nitrogen is taken in by plants as nitrate and ammonium ion. Its major importance is for the synthesis of proteins, nucleic acids, and many other organic compounds, for example, coenzyme and chlorophyll. Deficiency in plants, how can you tell that a plant is lacking nitrogen? There is always a stunted growth and strong chlorosis, particularly of old leaves. And in man, somebody lacking nitrogen will be, in man, lack of nitrogen leads to kwashiorkor due to lack of proteins. Common food sources include proteins, which come from meat, fish, beans, and milk. The next element is phosphorus, which is taken up by plants as phosphate and orthophosphate. The general importance is for the synthesis of nucleic acid, ATP, and some proteins. Phosphate is also a constituent of bones and enamel, phospholipids in membranes. Deficiency in plants leads to stunted growth, particularly of roots, and phosphorus is not known in man. The common food source for man are vegetables and meat. Potassium. Potassium is taken up as potassium ion, and the major importance mainly is associated with membrane function, for example, conduction of nervous impulse, maintaining electrical potential across membranes, pumping in active transport across membrane, cofactor in photosynthesis and respiration. It is also common in cell sap of plant vacuoles. Symptom in plants, yellowing and brown leaf margins. Common food source, vegetables and meat. Sulfur is taken up as sulfate. The major importance is for the synthesis of proteins and many other organic compounds, for example, coenzyme A. Deficiency in plants, chlorophyll, and the major food source, proteins, which come from meat, fish, and milk. Nitrogen, sorry, I beg my pardon. Sodium is taken up as sodium ions. The major importance is similar to potassium, but usually present in lower concentration. It is often exchanged for potassium. Many enzyme reactions are controlled by sodium and potassium ions. The symptom is muscular cramps, and the major food source, table salt. Chlorine is taken up as chlorine ion, and the importance is similar to sodium and potassium ions. It is involved in a chloride shift during carbon dioxide transport in the blood. Chloride is also a constituent of gastric juice. Symptom, muscular cramps, and major food source is table salt. Magnesium is taken up as magnesium ion. Importance, part of the structure of chlorophyll, and it is also bone and teeth structure. It is a cofactor for many enzymes, for example, ATPase. Deficiency of phosphorus leads to chlorosis. No, deficiency of magnesium leads to chlorosis. Common food source, vegetables and most of other foods. Calcium is taken up as calcium ions. Importance is needed for the formation of middle lamina between plant cell wall and animal and normal cell wall development. It is a constituent of bone, enamel, and shell. It activates ATPase during muscular contraction. It's also needed for blood clotting. Deficiency in plants is shown by stunted growth, while in man, poor skeletal development, possibly leading to rickets. Common food source, milk and hard water. Trace elements. Among the trace elements, we have manganese. These ones are usually, the trace elements are usually contained in an enzyme, in enzymes. So manganese is contained in the phosphatase, which is for the transfer of phosphate group. Its function is for the bone development, which is a growing factor. Deficiency in the plants, there is leaf freaking, and in man, poor bone development. Food source, vegetable and most of other foods. Iron, it is contained in the decarboxylase and the dehydrogenase. Function, it is used for the oxidation of fatty acids, respiration, and photosynthesis. Iron is also found in hemoglobin and myoglobin. Its major function is for oxygen carrier. Iron is also found in cytochrome. Its function is for electron carrier, for example, respiration and photosynthesis. Symptom in man, anemia. Common food source is liver and meat. Some vegetables, e.g. spinach. Iron is also found in catalase and the peroxidase. The major function is the oxidation of hydrogen peroxide. Cobalt. Cobalt is contained in vitamin B12, and the major function is for the red blood cell development. Symptoms, anemia. The major food source, liver and red meat. Copper. Copper is contained in cytochrome oxidase, and the major function is terminal electron carrier in the respiratory chain, where oxygen is converted into water. And the symptom in plant dieback of shoot. Copper is also found in homeostasis. Copper is also found in homeocyanin. The major function is for oxygen carrier in certain invertebrates. It's also found in plastocyanin. The major function is electron carrier in photosynthesis. Copper is also found in tyrosinase. In tyrosinase, the major function is for melanin production. Symptoms in man, albinism. The major food source is most of the food contain copper. Zinc is contained in alcohol dehydrogenase. The major function is anaerobic respiration in plants, alcohol fermentation. Symptoms in plants, mottled leaf of citrus. Zinc is also found in carbonic anhydrase. The major function is for carbon dioxide transport in vertebrate blood. Lastly, it is found in carboxypeptidase. The major function is hydrolysis of peptide bond in protein digestion. Most food sources, most of the common food sources, most foods. Molybdenum. Molybdenum is contained in nitrogen reductase. Function, reduction of nitrate to nitrite during amino acid synthesis in plants. Symptoms in plants, retardation of growth. Molybdenum is also found in nitrogenase. And the major function is for nitrogen fixation. Common food source, most of the foods. Boron, the major function in only plants, it helps in normal cell division in my meristems. And the major symptoms is abnormal growth and death of shoot tips. Fluorine is associated with calcium as calcium fluoride in animals. The major function is a component of tooth, enamel, and bone. Symptoms is dental decay more rapidly. Common food source is milk, drinking water in some areas. Yeah, in most of the areas, mainly in the West, their water contains a lot of fluoride. When the fluoride is in excess, it leads to dental decay, but when it is in a recommended amount, it can help in the development of the teeth and bone. Iodine is contained in the thyroxine, and the major function is for hormone controlling basal metabolic rate. The symptom in man, where you can tell that somebody is lacking iodine, there is development of goiter and then cretinism in the children. Common food source, seafood and salt. So that's all with the trace element. Next time, we are going to look at metalloenzyme and metallocoenzymes.